Big G, Big G, Big G. What up?
What's going on, my man?
Hey, not much, man. Hey, welcome everybody to Relationship Talk with Juanito. I am Coach Juan Robinson, and today I am with
Big G, baby.
Big G. What's going on, man? How you been?
Hey, man. Rough week, but hey, we sustaining and maintaining, just trying to make it throughout. We just cogs, baby. So I'm just trying to make it throughout. How you been feeling this week?
Still trying to get over having bronchitis. Still got a slight cough, but I'm doing a lot better than I was last week.
Okay, okay.
Just trying to survive right now. The weather is kind of ridiculous because it was 90 degrees and then it was 70, 60 degrees. Now it's back up to 85 degrees. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Hey, you right along with us, baby. We had 2 days of 70 plus, close to 80. And shit, next day, 2 days later, shit, here we get barely getting to 40.
Yeah, it's been kind of crazy. On top of everything else that's going on in the world.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I'm trying to survive.
Hey, I
Trying to
understand.
survive and not die.
Man.
I can tell you right now, I am so happy to be retired.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Remember, for the next 20 years, they can call you back though.
Nah, I hit higher tenure. They can't call me back. Nope, don't come looking for me.
Don't come looking for me
Hey,
going AWOL, baby.
y'all go ahead and lock me up. I ain't going.
Basically. Hey,
So, what's been good, man? How, how,
man.
how's podcast prep coming?
Man, as we was going through our setups, you see, I went out and spent, what I'm saying, about some more little stuff, trying to get everything to be right. And shit, next thing you know, I don't know, but I'm trying to get it there. Then I'm having the longer days at work because my job affects what's going on. And so I've had, what I'm saying? So it's just these last couple of weeks has just been for your boy. But I'm trying to get it there.
Yeah, well, hey, you'll get there. Um, but man, hey, let's go ahead and jump into our first topic today. So today I want to do a little something different. We starting off on the relationship, but
Yeah.
I found a video earlier today that was kind of funny. But then we could
Yeah.
uh, talk about it afterwards. So let's go ahead and
Good.
jump into that.
Let's go.
So I broke up with somebody because he cried too much.
No, hold on, man. I be crying, man.
How much?
I be crying.
I be crying too.
I'm saying.
What's
How
too
much is
much?
too much?
All right. So he would cry when he was mad. He would cry when he's sad. He's crying when he's happy. Like that's.
So
mad
he's a
emotion.
normal human being.
No,
What you saying?
but like, nobody wants to deal with that all the time. Like, why are you crying? Like, all right, we get it. Like, you mad emotional.
You mad emotional, son?
You like your mother died, you over here crying? Man?
Brian B.
Damn, son.
Oh my God! People's moms die every day, B.
God damn, you tough, right? You tough.
Honestly, I feel like the last time he cried was when we broke up. But that didn't push me over the edge. It was just like,
Wait, were you breaking up with him and he started crying and you were like, nah, son?
yes, like, why are you crying?
What did you tell him?
Please stop crying.
No, I mean when you broke up.
Then why are you crying after you broke up with him?
So I told him, I was like, all right, like, I can't do this. I feel like, the man in the relationship, because you crying about everything.
Like, Shireen, please. I'll do better. I won't cry no more. Please.
You just crying because, oh my God, I'm so happy I saw you today. It's just like,
God forbid, he loved you so much.
I'm so happy I saw you.
Crying tears of joy.
The visual of him being happy to see her and her being like, listen,
That's a lot, though.
man, every day, B, this nigga gon' cry.
That's a lot, though,
my
bro.
dick from the back, B. This nigga crying all the time, B. Come on. You a man or not, son?
That's
Come
a
on.
lot.
I got a buck 50, got a razor in my cheek right now, son. Strong Island.
So he was like, so as soon as he see you, like, oh my God. I didn't know you was coming early. I didn't know you was coming early. Oh, how was your trip? I didn't know if you was gonna make it on time. Did they give you a window seat?
so
He crying every day, B.
So I saw that video, and you know, I love Tony Baker and Kev on
Came
stage.
on stage. Yeah.
They're hilarious. I be watching they clips all the time.
Yeah.
But it made me think about, you know, how women say that they want men to be more emotional until they meet a guy who is emotional
Yeah.
or exercises his emotions, is outwardly with his emotions. And you know, we kind of talked about that a little bit last week when we were talking about men being vulnerable.
Yeah.
So I know it's a bit of an exaggeration, right? Well, you know, that whole discussion, but what are your thoughts on men being vulnerable and women's acceptance of them, that vulnerability?
Well, we can't be hard all the time. But when a man is vulnerable with you, that means he trusts you. That means you have given him a space to open up. You know what I'm saying? Because we tend to only be vulnerable around people who we trust, that we think that's not going to judge us. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got a couple of homeboys that I've shed a tear around because I'm comfortable with them. I got a set of homeboys I would never open up like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so when a man allows you to see him in a vulnerable space, that's a high level of trust that he has for you.
Now, do you think that like, take for example this particular situation where she's saying that she felt that he was too emotional. Do you think that's really a thing? Or let me rephrase that question. Do you think that men can operate from an emotional, vulnerable place on a relatively consistent basis throughout their relationship with somebody?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. A man can. Yes. Well, you know how people are when we tell stories. We put a little stank on it. So when she said he's a little too much, she's probably doing that for the laugh factor from the crowd. She wanted to get that crowd to give her that validation of what she's saying. Like, throw a little jab in about the gentleman. But again, you know what I'm saying? He's like the statement she said, he cried when he see it. You got a man who thinks that you are beautiful and you are the light of his day, and all he's doing is thinking about you. And then when you walk in that door and he see you in a state that where, man, that's like when a man see his bride walking. I know you seen on videos, man see his bride walking down, he can't control himself. He start crying, and his dad or his homeboy got to come over and grab him and tell him, you know what I'm saying? Because when you in your mind think that you have found that person, you let your vulnerability go.
You know, I think that there is a perception that women have of men, right? And that perception is that men are stoic, men are hard, men are meant to be rock solid. And while I agree in a lot of situations and a lot of circumstances,
Mhm.
we do have to be, right? Because
Yeah,
life is quite unfair to men, and it breaks us down. And so knowing that you have to maintain your stoicism and you have to maintain your rock hard um persona so that you don't get beat down, right?
the poker face.
Right. um but I think that a woman who allows herself to 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 exercise her femininity and soften him up, to allow him to be, operate from an emotional standpoint, right?
Yeah,
Whether it be to cry or to whatever he may be feeling. I think that if you have that type of relationship and she's operating in that standpoint, it could be quite a beautiful thing, and it allows him to be his best self, right? For
yeah,
you, because like you said, that him opening up and being vulnerable like that means that he has um a certain level of trust that he has in you. Now, going back to the video, it was quite evident that she was extremely masculine, right?
extreme.
Like she just exuded. There was nothing feminine really about her other than her physical body features.
Yeah,
And so when the dynamic is like that, you're likely going to attract somebody that's opposite. So because you're super rock hard as a woman, you're more likely going to attract an emotional, um a more emotional man. There's nothing wrong with that if you have the mental fortitude and the emotional stability to be able to handle that.
yeah,
Clearly, she's not, right?
yeah,
That's why she's up on stage talking about it. And so the thing is like she's not gonna attract the man that is a stoic, rock hard man who only exercises emotional vulnerability when he deems it necessary.
yeah,
Why? Because she's equally as masculine. And so they would be button heads. And let's be real, right? You go out there into the world and you fight the fight that you have to fight on a daily basis. The last thing you want to do is come home and have to fight the person that you're supposed to be laying in the bed with.
yes,
And so for her particular situation, you know, unless she changes that dynamic, she's going to continue on to attract emotional men, or she's going to attract men that they're going to end up boxing in the street.
But you're right. I've seen that when you have two people that are headstrong like that, yeah, especially from a male and a female, that you tend to get that because no one is willing to sit back and you know what I'm saying, canvas the situation and says, okay, let's calm down. But I don't think a man could ever really be. Well, hold on. Let me rethink that. Yes, a man can be too emotional when it comes, but I feel like he can become too emotional if he's not really hasn't been raised around men. You see what I'm saying? When all he's been absorbing is feminine energy, due to being raised by a single mother who didn't put him around men, and so he gives off that feminine undertone,
Yeah.
and so he can become too emotional because that's all he has seen. So all he know how to do is to react emotionally about everything.
Yeah, and then you also got to throw in that I think a lot of people forget that anger is an emotion.
Yes,
I think they sometimes categorize anger off by itself as if it is not
yeah,
an emotion.
yes,
But it,
but that's
it
that's the bigger motion.
yeah, and that's typically the emotion that men exhibit,
Yeah,
right? That's typically like the emotion like when they want to cry, they're more frustrated than anything because they maybe not have the ability to express that emotion that way. So it may tend to be expressed as anger or frustration, but it's still an emotion. And so, factoring in that, guys have to keep keep some keep some of the emotions under check, right? Because
yeah,
if they don't, it's likely to show up either super angry
yeah.
or super whiny.
I used to cry when I got angry, and people used to always say that. I'm just like, dude, you don't realize I'm crying because what the thing the scenarios is going through my head is very
Listen, hey, look, I already know where you go with that because I used to do the same thing. Like
yeah,
when if I'm yelling and I'm upset, we good. But if
yeah.
I start getting like teary eyed
Teary
or
eyed,
whatever,
yeah,
and start to shed tears while I'm angry, just go ahead, get your
yeah.
give me 50 feet,
Give me 50 feet.
cause that's an extreme emotional standpoint that I'm operating in,
Yeah.
and it's oftentimes a very dangerous
Yes.
emotional standpoint that I'm operating in. So, I mean, granted, I haven't been that way since I was a teenager,
Yeah.
but and I can think back to the last time that I was, and I actually wrote about it in my book,
Yeah.
um, because it was one of those turning points,
Yeah. Well,
and so
mine's was too. Mine's was too, because mine's almost got me in trouble because I went to crying and like I'm saying, those I'm trying to process these things in my head, and the worst wasn't one. I picked that brick up and I launched it, honey.
what? Hold on, you
Yeah.
say that again.
Yeah, I say I'm crying and I'm trying to process this anger, and the latter part of the anger won, the one that just said F it. And so I picked that brick up and I launched that honey.
At it,
Ah,
what, you was about to fight somebody?
yeah. Well, we end up scrapping, But yeah, that brick came first though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you know,
Yeah.
and let me get what age were you around that time?
I was like 17, 18.
Yeah, and so I was when it happened to me, I was around 16.
Yeah.
Oh, I was 16. And so, you know, that's why men understand, right? When we
Yeah.
become emotional like that, um, it can get dangerous.
Mhm.
And so that's why practicing stoicism and keeping your emotions in check is is important to us. But then also at the same time, you have to understand that your woman, when you're in a relationship with a woman, she's an emotional person, and she's naturally soft.
Yeah.
So you can't necessarily be that way around her. So you have to be um a little bit vulnerable at times so that she can see the humanity inside of you. Now, with that being said, she has to be an emotional safe space.
Yes.
She
Yes.
has to be an emotional safe landing zone for you to be vulnerable, because if she's not, and we've talked about this before, you only get one shot at it.
One shot.
And if you screw it up, you may never ever get that opportunity again. It just depends on how that scenario goes and what's going on. And so, that's the thing that women have to be careful about, is like you can you can you can win a guy's heart when he's in an emotional vulnerable point, and you could
Yeah.
also lose a guy at the same time.
Yeah. Truly can. But question about that. Now, you hear you hear these women always say, I want a man that don't play about me. Well, that's an emotional man. That is a very emotional man, because that's a man who understands that he has something to lose in you. So he's going to react in that in an emotional way when things come when things happen about you as a woman. And they don't understand that. They I try to counsel young men at work, and I try to tell them, hey, never put yourself in a position to where you're not thinking around your woman. You're reacting. And because when you react around a woman, that's where things go wrong. And because the simple fact is, when a man so-called don't play about his woman, anything that comes awry, he's going to react. He's not going to think about it. He's just going to react. And that's where he finds himself in a position that he can only deal with the consequences. And we should not, as men, we should not. Now, if you thought about it and you deal with the consequences, okay, cool. But if you're reacting and these consequences is not processing through your head, that's what I believe. That's where a lot of things go left with men in our relationships and stuff. So, what do you think about that?
There's levels to it.
Yeah.
I don't play about my wife, right? That's
Right.
my wife. I have a responsibility to her. My
Yeah.
responsibility is to provide and protect, right?
Yeah.
Among other things. But that is God. God has given me the responsibility to steward over my relationship my household or whatever. And so I don't play when it comes to that responsibility. And so with that being said, my wife also has a responsibility not to put me in no situation where things can go left. Now, we're both old enough to know things happen, right? Not every You're not always going to find yourself in the most advantageous situation, right? Sometimes things just happen by circumstance.
Yeah.
But that's where she has an understanding of what you have to lose, and I have an understanding of what I have to lose. So we're in sync on how we should maneuver in and out of certain situations, right? And if
Right.
we're not in sync, she knows that I take the lead. You follow, right? Don't question me about it, right? And you can ask me about it later. But while we in the midst, and this was a lesson that she had to learn, and I'll tell you what happened. So I was coaching football. I was coaching the 10, 11, 12 year olds. The 13 to 15 year olds played after us, and the game started to get a little chippy, on the field. And then a fight broke out on the field. And then you start to see the parents, come out of the stands a little bit, and I'm sitting back and I'm observing, I'm watching both sides, and you start to see parents start to creep a little bit closer to the field.
Yeah.
And I saw one dude just kind of walk out of the stands and start head towards the cars. I turned to my wife and I was like, "Yo, pack it up. Let's go. We need to get out of here." And she's like, "What? The game is going on." And I'm like, "Don't ask me no questions. We need to go."
Yeah.
And she's like, "But the game." And I was like, "Look, I don't want to have to embarrass you in front of these people. Let's go. Let's go." So we packed it up and we went to the car, took off. When we got to the car, she was like, "Yo, what's the deal?" I said, you watching the game, you enjoying yourself, you having a good time. I am observing the situation. They end up having to cancel the rest of the game because the parents started fighting, and one dude went to his car to go get the strap. And I was like, I told her, I said, in a situation like that, when I tell you to move, listen to the tone that I'm speaking in and understand that I have assessed the threat and we need to move because we ain't trying to be casualties as bystanders.
Yeah.
And so even if I'm wrong, I would rather be wrong and safe and right than dead.
Facts.
So, that was a lesson that she learned. So now she knows, like, when we don't put ourselves in bad situations, but if we're not in a bad situation and something bad is happening, when I say move,
We move.
we move. Now, I know that it's not always like that. You have some women who they want to see their men stand up for them.
Yeah.
For whatever particular reason, right? It could be to feed their ego, to test his gangster, for lack of better terms. Like, And so they'll purposely run their mouth, not use common sense, to say, hey, this is probably not the best move to make, because who knows what's going on, right? But they don't think beyond that scenario. They don't think 2-3 steps down the road. Is like, I'm putting myself in danger, I'm putting him in danger, and I'm also putting anybody that's around me, that's in my circle, in danger, because you don't necessarily know what somebody else is going to be, how somebody else is going to react to something.
Yeah.
So, and it's dependent upon, it's really dependent upon the woman, right?
The woman.
Like,
Yep.
because men, we know that there's always a threat of violence among men, right?
Yep.
That's why you can get into an argument with somebody, but you try not to be disrespectful, right? Because when shit gets disrespectful, it can go left,
Quick.
right? And there's always that threat of violence. And so the last thing you need is some loudmouth ass woman running her mouth, putting you in a situation to where you gotta test your gangster against somebody who might be more gangster than you are.
Yeah.
For what reason? No reason.
Yep.
And so, yeah, those scenarios exist. But
Yeah.
I think for a guy, right, if you find yourself in a situation with a woman that is like that, it's best to cut ties.
Yeah, you got to. You got to.
Because that's going to be a headache, and it's not worth it. Even if that's your wife, it's not worth it, because that means you probably married somebody you shouldn't have married in the beginning.
Oh, shit. I had one of those in my lifetime, dog, and I quickly got about it. And I realized, I'm like, oh yeah, you gonna have me out here playing knockout king, and I'm a big fella, but I can't knock out everybody.
I mean, you are a big dude though, for real. Pause.
But yeah, dog, yeah, I had to remove myself, but I'm quick, you know what I'm saying, because it was just one of those things, and as I got older and I started being in more control, you don't realize how your baby girl can get all that under control for you. You know what I'm saying?
You talking about your daughter?
Your daughter, men's and their daughters. You don't realize how that is that right there is one of the things that help, well, I know for me, that helped get my emotion and my quick reaction responses in order. Uh yeah, that little girl, she put me on a path because I had to get shit correct. And I learned patience. I learned understanding. I learned a whole lot with my daughter. Now, if I had a little son, probably wouldn't be like that. We'd be out there learning how to teach him how to box and duck and do. But that little girl, you know what I'm saying? She was a big teaching for me getting my emotions under control. And me by me doing that and learning how to assess, learning how to, you know what I'm saying, think things through clearly. And it comes with growth, older age and everything. But I started thinking that If this person doesn't understand, walk away. If this person does not understand reason, does not understand common sense, walk away. Don't let their shortcomings make your emotional anger come out and be displayed. Because I know you heard the saying, when two fools are arguing, nobody knows who is who.
Yeah, and having a child gives you a different perspective because now somebody is relying on you.
Yeah.
And if you ain't an ain't shit father, then you understand that level of responsibility. Excuse me. You understand that level of responsibility
Yeah.
because somebody else's life is in your hand because they can't take care of themselves. So it's incumbent upon you to be that person who is their first love, their teacher, their best friend, their disciplinarian, all of those things that you are to a child as they slowly develop into their own adult, becoming their own adult, you know, you being there as a part of that process, God willing, it's necessary. And so
Yeah.
when your child enters the world, that responsibility is thrust upon you immediately. And so it should change how the way that you think about things.
Yeah.
And so I think that is actually a great segue for the next video. You ready?
Oh, yes, indeed.
Oh, that's not right. Now this is one you sent me.
Yes, indeed.
Drowning here.
You are not drowning.
Well, what do you call living in an awful dorm with no money and the washing machine's broken in the laundry room and there's some kind of soup coming out of the faucet?
Marriage, I call it. Marriage.
Okay, well, it's hard, okay? It's just hard, Dad.
And you want me to make it not so hard.
You're supposed to do that for me.
I can't.
Well, then what good are you?
Hey! You made a choice. You decided that you were old enough to get married. You decided to take on the responsibility of a new life because you believed you could handle it. And this family supported that decision after we told you that it was going to be very difficult. What, did you think we were kidding? Did you go into this marriage thinking you were just going to play house and we were going to bail you out of trouble? Corey, this is your life. Deal with your life.
All you had to say was no.
Yo, I remember this episode. And first of all, can we acknowledge that Alan is a top 5 TV dad? He's not mentioned enough. All right, he's top 5 for me. All right, but if you haven't seen this episode, guess what? Corey went home and fixed that damn sink himself. And him and Topanga figured it out. But now that I am a father and I'm married, the thing that I take away from this scene now is Amy on them stairs letting her husband father his son. And it was killing her. They kept panning to her to show how much she was struggling. She wanted to step in and save her baby, but she didn't. She sat there and allowed that man to be a father to his son. She allowed that man to prepare his boy, who is now a man. And that sometimes, moms, you gotta just take it. And I know it hurts, but we gotta prepare these boys to be men. And that's what Alan was doing. And it was a dope scene. It was a dope episode too. And Corey figured it out. So Alan did his job. And man, they need to bring back TV shows like this. Them shows was good, man. They was hilarious, but they had moments like these. That was good. Bring him back.
Drowning here.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
that responsibility of being a father and, you know, teaching your kids the hard lessons, you know. And I think he first off, can we acknowledge that Topanga was fine?
Glad you mentioned it.
Hey, Topanga was fine. Topanga was one of them crushes growing up. Well, it's like, hey, when I'm gonna get me my Topanga? Side, yeah,
Hey, we don't even know her real name no more. She just Topanga.
yeah. But you know, it's funny because my son the other day, he was he thought he was 26. And he was getting a little reckless with his mouth. And I had to remind him that he's only 6. And he
Oh.
I am not an overly like disciplinarian type of parent, right? I will yell, but I rarely ever give spankings because I don't need to. Most of the time, I can give them that death stare, like
Yep.
I will eat your soul stare, and it gets the job done. But on this particular situation, he was just really feeling himself, and so I had to let him know, I'm the big dog, you the little dog, and he was not happy about it. But what did he do? He ran straight to mommy.
Right to mommy.
And mommy cuddled him and all of the other stuff. And, you know, I let it go. But then afterwards, I had to let her know that it was like, hey, whenever I'm disciplining him, you got to back me up.
Yeah.
Right? You can't always be the immediate shoulder for him to cry on, because you're not helping the situation.
Nope.
Right? Sometimes you got to let him sit in it and learn that there's certain boundaries that you have to operate within for your age. Right? And obviously, as you get older, your boundaries start to expand a little bit, right? When you become a teenager, you start to be able to do some things on your own. But when you're 6 years old, your boundaries are almost non-existent.
Yeah.
Because it's what I say and what I say only, right? You don't really get a say so.
Yeah.
But in this particular video, right, you it's that same thing, right? It's you made a choice as a man, so you have to take on that responsibilities. And guess what? You still have to operate within those boundaries that I set, because
Yeah.
you wanted to do man things. You got man responsibilities to come along with it. And so you don't blame me for your failures as a man,
Yep.
because you want me to step in and cuddle you and take care of those things for you. And like he said, I thought it was good that they showed mom sitting there on the steps having to eat that.
Eat that. Because that's what moms want to do. Moms want to be there.
Yeah. And so here's a question for you. As a father who you had, correct me if I'm wrong, you had primary custody of your child?
Yeah, I
Of your
did.
daughter?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
So as a father of a daughter who you were the primary custodian of your child, how would these type of scenarios for you?
Oh, it was.
Wait, hold on. How old is your daughter now?
My daughter now is 24.
Okay, so
Yeah,
she's an adult. So how are these
she's an adult
scenarios
now.
for you?
Growing up, obviously, when the time when I became custodian, it was at that 10-year-old mark. So I got preteen um, up until teenagers. And so it was. I had the talking stage with my daughter, and I explained to her about how our relationships are going to grow in stages. And right at the beginning, I told her, I said, hey, the relationship is how I dictate it. I said, as you get older, we're going to expand. I said, I have to be father right now. I said, once we move into a stage when you become a teenager, you know what I'm saying, and the trust is built, we're going to move into a more of a, hey, dad, relax, kind of chill. As we get into young adult, you know what I'm saying, we're going to go into another stage. And I said, and the reason why I'm telling you this is because I'm here for guidance. And my job is to ensure that you're on the right path and you're going to remain on the right path. And I gave the prime example of two trees. I say, see, you have one tree when you know what I'm saying, a little fig that you plant in the ground, and you see how the wind just blows it back and forth. I say, now that tree is going to grow into a tree that's curved, leaning, doing all this other little stuff. I say, but you see the tree? I say, you see the little baby tree right there that has the stakes in the ground and has the strings attached to it. I say, that's me as your dad. I'm those stakes in the ground. I'm those strings. And I said, that's to make sure that wind don't tilt you back and forth to where you grow this way, then you start growing this way and everything until you reaching a mature tree and you got all these bad curves and these bad lumps. I want you to be a straight tree, grow straight up. And she didn't quite understand it back then, but as we've had communications about that same little conversation, and to where now she gets what I was saying. We had a couple of issues a couple of times, and I wanted as a father to step in because one, that's my only child, and two, that's my baby girl. But just like Alan, I had to force myself to not. You know what I'm saying? You chose to walk down these paths, path that you chose as a 18, 19-year-old young lady. Now you have to walk in it. You have to see if the decision that you made was correct. You calling daddy to correct everything, you're never gonna learn. You're never gonna learn if you was right or wrong, and you're never gonna learn how to survive. And I think that's where the father is one of the most important parts of the relationship, because we want our child to see these things. And that's where the logical aspect comes in from us in the relationship, because we understand what's outside that door, especially for young men, our young men. We know how the world is going to treat young men. So we want them to go through that fire, that trials and tribulation, and see how they come on. Now, if they fail, we're gonna be there to give a hand to pick them up, dust them off, and say, okay, you know what happened, you know what went wrong. But we are the ones that are set there in the relationship, in the dynamic between the mother, father, and the children. We are the ones that put that stability and that we put that guidance on kids to see things in a manner that mothers don't. And what I mean by the manner that mothers don't, because they're emotional. They want to run, they want to grab, they want to hold, they want to say protect my baby. I don't want to see my baby. But we're that parent that says no, let the baby go. Let's see if the baby walks. Because that's how I was with my daughter when she started walking. My wife at the time, she wanted to grab and put everything. I said, let her fall. She's gonna get it. Just let her fall.
Yep, gotta let them get them lumps. See,
Yeah.
my daughter is 19, but you know she's autistic and developmentally delayed, and so you know she hasn't gotten there yet in her life to where you know she's at a point where she could be a fully functioning adult.
Yeah.
But my son is 16, and you know he's fastly approaching you know becoming a young adult, and so you know I'm trying to instill certain things in him that will allow him to be successful
Mhm.
earlier in life and not have to make the same mistakes as I did. But I also understand that the mistakes and the failures is where the life lessons are at, right?
Mhm.
Like you said, you fall down, you know, if you can't get yourself back up, because that's
Yeah.
the first thing, right? Get yourself back up. If you can't get yourself back up there, I'll be there to assist you.
Sit.
But you got to get up. You got to exhaust yourself getting yourself up off the ground. And
Yeah.
so I haven't been through that yet. So that's why I asked you, because I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, I know that time is coming.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Right. And
It- it's one of
and
those. It's one of those things, one that old school form of developing, especially our young men, how from tribals, from no matter where at on the earth that you was growing up in this world up until probably around about the 40s or 50s, especially in the Western Hemisphere. The father took their kid, especially their sons. Some sent them out into the wilderness for 5 or 10 days. Some had them to go hunt and bring back a leopard skin, or catch this animal, or go catch a monkey. All these little things that once they completed the task, they became a man. And so we have gotten away in society now about having that kind of thing. Now we don't have to do it like, I'm not saying, oh, you know what I'm saying, now let's take our kids out and send them out in the woods and see, but there are things that we can do or should do now, especially with our young men, about putting them on the path to manhood. Hey, you finna go out here and learn how to change tires. You finna learn how to change oils, change brake pads. You finna do this here as a man. You have to learn these things as a man.
or at
But we
least
don't.
learn how to pay somebody to do it. Because hey,
Yeah,
listen, I am not mechanically inclined, and I know how to change a tire. I know
yeah,
how to change the oil.
yeah.
That's about it. That's all I'm good
That's
for.
about it.
I can, hey, and I know how to pay somebody to somebody else to do it.
That's good. Pay somebody else. But that's that. But there should be some little things, especially going into manhood with our daughters. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. We going out here. We should. Hey, this is gonna be your first date. I'm gonna show you how a man should hold the door open for you. Should pull the chair out for you to have you to sit down. When you go to the restroom, he stands up to allow you to go to the little simple stuff like that to usher these kids into the proper way of adulthood. And I did those things with my daughter. I took my daughter on her first official date. She came home Friday from school. I said, "Hey, go put your best clothes on." "Where we going, Dad?" "Don't worry about it. Put your best clothes on." She put her best clothes on. I went and washed the car up for her. You know what I'm saying? I had my nice little put together stuff on. So we went out, boy. When she got, I walked into the door to the car, opened the door, made sure she got in. We got out, made sure I ran around and opened the door for her. When she went to go, I pulled the chair back out for her. I did everything on the show that after that evening, I told her, I say, now, if this is something your dad can do, as a young lady should not allow anybody else not to do at least the bare minimum of this. And as we sat at the table, we had kind of a discussion about how ladies supposed to sit at the table, how, you know what I'm saying, when they need to excuse themselves, they say, "Excuse me, I have to excuse myself." We started talking about all these little things. And I said, now you might laugh, we might be laughing and joking about it now. I said, but these are little things that you should know as a woman, and how you should act as a woman and how a man should act as a man within your presence. And I say it's just simple. It's simple etiquette. We don't teach our kids etiquette no more, Juan. They don't have none of that.
You know, it's funny that you say that because um I have a client that is older than I am, doesn't know these things. I mean, she knows them now because she's a client of mine, right? And these are,
Yeah.
you know, there are certain things that have to show up
Yeah.
in order for you to be able to identify that that person is a partner of quality,
Yeah.
right? Because there's a lot of people that aren't. And so a, a woman, I'm going to say it, a woman has to operate as a woman.
Yep.
She has to be a full woman. And what I mean by that is that she has to have expectations and standards for herself. And she has to be healed and drama free. She has to be educated, and I ain't talking about book smart. I'm talking about common sense wise. You know, she has to have an aura about her that signals I am open, but I ain't want to be played with.
Yeah.
Because if she has that, and what I mean by I ain't want to be played with, i.e., meaning that you as a man can't step to me any kind of way thinking
Yeah.
that you gonna get me because I have a certain standard that you have to meet because I am in this for a relationship and not no situationship. And that if a woman doesn't have that or operate in that way, you're more likely to attract some toxic shit in your life.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And you know those things have. I say it like this. Me and my mom was having this conversation the other day. I said, if relationships are going to return back to being meaningful and fulfilling, women have to correct themselves. Because if they can correct themselves, they hold themselves to a higher standards, and then guys will adjust.
Always.
Guys will adjust if they set this so whatever standard women set, guys will adjust to that. And so the reason why guys are ain't shit is because the standard that you set is that low.
The standard
What?
that you set for ain't shit dudes.
It is just that low. So why would I do more than what the minimum requirement is?
But see, they put the standard on the wrong things. They put the standard on finances. That's where women's standards is at now, because that's all you hear. Finance, finance, finance. And so, and so when a guy who comes in who technically doesn't have the finances, but he has that a certain look about themselves and that verbal milk to discombobulate them, they end up giving that guy the baby, then turn around and try to go into a correction mode. Well, wait a minute. If you was focused on the right standard, respect, you know what I'm saying, like you so eloquently explained, if you focus on the right standard and what is need to come correct for you to address you, you tend not to get fooled by the guy who don't have the finances, but he has a certain look to him and he has a certain gift of gab. You don't get tricked by that because you see that. You see right through that.
That is true. Now, I want to say something controversial. It's not controversial, but it's an epiphany that I came to.
Yeah.
You know 50-50 doesn't exist, right?
It don't.
But do you know why?
My take on it, it doesn't exist because no two people can give. If you only giving 50% of anything, you're not giving your all.
No, I'm talking about financially.
Oh,
50-50
finance.
does not exist.
Well,
It's
well,
it's not
finance. Oh,
it's not a real option.
it's not.
Do you know why?
I got an idea, but you tell me yours.
Cause mine go give you the answer. So I want to know what yours is. What your thought is.
Okay. So my thing is because it goes back to and the way I'm thinking about it is because like most women play about it. Your money is my money. I mean, my money is my money, and your money is my money. And so there's really no such thing as a 50-50 from the standpoint because it's in most cases somebody is always giving more anyway. So financially.
You're on to it. Now, here's why 50-50 doesn't exist. If her bills are 2,500 my bills are $2,500. We get together. What's 50% of 2,500?
$1,250.
$1,250. What's 50% of 2,500? $1,250. So we
Yeah.
just swapping $1,250. So
Yeah.
that's why the
Yeah.
idea of 50% is so off-putting to women, because they're like, I'm not getting anything out of it.
Yeah.
It's not a real help to me, because they say, like, so you don't want to pay 50% of your bills? Well, if it because I hear guys be like, oh well, you don't want to sign up for paying 50% of your bills. If you take 50% of her bills, you still got 100% of your bills. And so it's 75-25.
Yeah.
But
And
if you take 50% of her bills and she take 50% of your bills, y'all just swapping.
swap it. And my thought on this too. Most women bills are more expensive. It's this little cartoon that comes on Facebook. It's called Stoic Ethan, and so he goes through these little scenarios, and one of the little scenario was the woman says, "Hey, uh, I'm always broke. You always seems to have money." And so he was like, "Hey, well, I don't spend my money on frivolous stuff." She says, "Well, I need you to pay all the bills so I can." He was like, "Why don't you cut back on your lifestyle?" And she started giving all these scenarios. He said, "Well, it doesn't seems like it seems like you want me to provide a lifestyle that you're not willing to provide yourself. So you want me to cut back on the things that I want to do to provide for you, but you're not willing to cut back on things to provide for yourself." And so what I'm saying, and I thought about, women do have a lot. And I get why women sit there and say they don't want to go 50-50, because women, especially now, they have a lot more things that they do. Hair, nails, makeup, lashes, shoes, purses, brunch, all this other stuff that us men, we don't partake in. Well, now the haircuts are starting to get crazy. Damn, they're like a woman now, $75 for a damn haircut.
Yo, I saw that. That is nuts. I'm glad I'm bald.
Yeah. You said
I pay $17 like every 2 months for a packet of razors.
that's what had your boy in there trying to.
Yeah, you screwed that one up though. Cause I noticed, hey, look, I noticed you ain't been on here without a do-rag ever since then.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, we messed that one up. We're gonna live to fight another day, but we're gonna get it right at some point.
See, I don't have those problems.
He said, "I don't have no problem."
Just come on over to the dark side. Come over to where, hey, you know what they say, right? Bald is beautiful.
Bald is beautiful.
Bald is beautiful, baby.
Oh, hey, well, I think we need to stick a fork in that one. Got to get up in the morning, baby.
Hey, I wanna end on one note, on one little video clip that I found.
Let's talk about it.
That's a fact. Can we all just acknowledge that it's happened? Captain Atlanta himself has your wife.
Captain Atlanta had my bride, my woman, clutching her pearls.
Yeah, so if you don't know what we're talking about, basically we went to this DreamCon, we played this charity basketball game, right? And we were on Team Duke Dennis. We've known Duke for some years now. We've been around him every year for like the past 3-4 years. Liv knows Duke. Duke knows Liv, right? Didn't matter. So we're in the locker room before the charity basketball game, right? Don't be mad that he has her. We were in the locker room, right? We were sitting by the lockers. Our locker was right by Duke's.
Yep.
So Duke comes in with this massive camera crew. You would have thought he was Mike Tyson.
You'd have thought TNT was walking
Yeah, but he comes up, he daps me up, he daps Cam up, right? And I'm thinking it's normal, right? We're seeing our friend Duke, we're about to do the game. Fast forward a couple days after the game.
My God.
We look on TikTok, and that moment was clipped by House of Highlights. Yeah. We look at the clip, and we're like, oh, wow. That's the moment we all remember. Let's check what people are saying in the comments. In the comments of this clip, it is overwhelming amount of screenshots of Cam's wife absolutely enamored.
Oh my God.
By Duke Dennis.
She's floored.
We're going to put the picture up on the screen now. Perfect. But for the audio listeners, she's literally turned to the side, head over the shoulder. The biggest, I haven't seen Liv smile like that since Malachi was born.
Yeah, no, I don't think Liv's ever smiled with me like that. Ever. Ever once. I know she loves me. Well, hell, I thought.
Her hands were together.
And she was clutching pearls that she didn't have. She literally said,
dude, and talk about, there's no way, even if she is enamored by Duke, one, her husband's right there.
I am arm's length from my wife in this moment, and she's doing this to another man.
Duke Dennis stole Cam's wife. Right?
Wow.
That is wild, right?
Wow. Yeah.
That's wild, right?
Yes. Yeah. We would have to have a talk. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that she would be my wife anymore. If I see you look at another man like you, that you never looked at me the same way, yeah, I would walk away. I'll go.
I gotta give it to them that they can make a joke out of it, but if that was me,
yeah,
bruh, I would have been tight.
Yeah,
and the thing is like if you watch his face, you can see that
But that's like that dude Akash, whatever his name is, Kashi, what the comedian.
Oh, Akash Singh.
Akash. Yeah. That's like him, dude. They so hurt they have to laugh because they know everybody, them comments showed him, because he probably already had in his mind that if something was to happen, she'll leave me. But when everybody brought it up to his attention, start screenshotting and said, man, look how your girl is looking. So he has it. So now you have to play it off via laughter because you don't know how to address it.
That's a good point.
And so you even with them going through it, he's falling back and forth laughing, but his laugh is not the same laugh as his homeboy, because his homeboy is like whoa.
Yeah, his homeboy is clowning.
Yeah. And so he's just trying to feed off the energy of his boy, but you could tell that first go around, he was like, no, but you have to play that I'm not embarrassed game and laugh and joke about it, but you secretly are.
Yeah, I wonder what that conversation was like. Because I know if it was me in that particular situation, I'm addressing that immediately.
Immediate. So soon as we leave the game, we out in front of everybody. Hey, yo, what was going on? Because he saw it there. He saw it there.
You in the picture you saw he had his back to her.
Okay, the picture. But he saw his girl mood changes when Duke Dennis walked in. Because that wasn't the only time. Duke Dennis wasn't just there for 2 or 3 seconds.
I got a little beef with Doc. I don't even want to tell y'all this.
You know what I'm saying? Duke Dennis wasn't there for 2 or 3 seconds to get a little thing. That was a lot more time. And her attitude from that picture didn't change, just like, oh, I'm just doing it for the picture. She was enamored the whole time Duke Dennis was in that locker room and she was around. And he saw that.
I mean, that's speculation, but
Come on, Juan.
based
Common
on
sense.
I don't know, I listen, this is speculation, man. You don't know what happened, but based off of the story that they told, that's wild. And it it's like, we say what we say all the time. Like, you have to he has a responsibility to protect his relationship, protect his marriage.
Yeah.
And you cannot put your woman in a position to where she could potentially jeopardize your marriage. Right? And so you have to always present yourself as being the best version of yourself. You have to always continuously to improve so that look that she was giving that dude,
Yeah.
you never have to go through that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, your woman should always be looking at you like that.
I'm gonna say this,
Obviously,
Juan.
hold on, wait. Obviously, there's like there's always gonna be like that one person who is virtually unattainable. So, for example, like a Chris Brown, that you go to a concert and they just
Yeah.
but like when you're in close proximity to somebody, avert your eyes. Look at the flow. Look at the ceiling.
Hey, Duke Dennis is Mr. Steal Your Girl. You know what I'm saying? Because
I don't
I
even
kind
know
of
who the hell that is.
Hey, I follow him on Instagram. He Mr. Steal Your Girl. So yeah. But I got just one last thing. I'm gonna ride on out. And I've always when situations like this come up in the conversation, I always say this: don't love me, respect me. And people ask me about that. I say you don't realize that's where that famous, what I'm saying, Tony Montana line comes from. You know what I'm saying? You need people like me. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be feared than loved. Because when a person loves you, they tend to use that word love as a crutch. Because they know with love comes forgiveness. Respect and fear go hand in hand. Because if you respect me, there's a little bit of fear behind it because you know the consequences behind it. So you're not going to do something. So when you fear somebody, you're not going to do something because you fear the repercussions that comes behind it. So that's why I tell anybody that I'm with, don't tell me you love me, respect me.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And with that being said, Big G, let them know where they can find you.
Hey, always, Wise Smart 22. Hey, I'm going live tomorrow with the double dose of Wednesdayism for this week. I'm gonna give you a Friday, and this one here is I'm definitely gonna give everybody a little shot, give them a little something to speak on. It's about my boy Dak, and it's about the prenup.
Oh,
And I
he
think
dodged a bullet on that one, boy.
yeah. So I think next week, Warren, we need to delve inside that prenup because I want to talk to you, being a relationship coach, and how you know what I'm saying, and the navigations about a prenup. Do you believe in one? Do you not believe in one? Because I definitely believe in one. And I'm never ever getting married again without one. And you don't have to be rich to have one. You just have to understand the use of language. So I think that should be next week, Juan, talking about that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with it. All right.
But yeah, Wise and Smart 22. Catch me on the gram. Thank you all my new followers. I appreciate you. Some of them don't look, you know what I'm saying? I be looking at the pictures and stuff. Some of them don't look, so you know what I'm saying? I don't like one I always tell you, drop a note, because I'm very controversial on my IG. So I don't need you getting shadow banned for people reporting me for the things that I say on my page. So so if you only got 2 posts on your thing, I consider you a bot, or you somebody trying to get some negative information about me, and I delete your request. I'm just letting you know right now.
All right, and if you want to reach out to me, you can find my contact information in the description. We will be dropping another video next week. I will be hopefully bringing on a guest next week.
Gotcha.
You know, I was having a conversation with my neighbor, and he understands. You know, he's been married for almost 20 years, so he gets to get it.
He gets to get it.
We were having a good conversation. I told him that I'd do a podcast, and I asked him if he wanted to join on. He was going to try to join on today, but I think he had some things come up with his family. So
Gotcha.
He should be joining us next week. So with that being said, the new book, F This, is in its final stages of editing. So that should be getting published within the next month or two. And so be on the lookout for that. I plan on, you know, this is gonna be my 3rd book that I've written, but this one is something special to me because it is about my life. It is about my struggles as a man, or as a child growing into a man, and then my struggles as a man. And so I am very excited about this book. It's almost 60,000 words. And so, you know, your boy put in some work into this. So I'm pretty excited about that. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you go out and follow Big G on Instagram. That's Wise and Smart 22 on the gram. That's Wise and Smart 22 on the gram. And you guys can follow me on Relationship Talk with Juanito on all platforms. We be getting it in on TikTok. Hey, Facebook is now starting to pop. So get out there, drop comments out there. We will respond to them. And we love the engagement. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the pin notification, and share so that the algorithm picks this up and it gets out to the people. And we look forward to getting on next week, having our conversation. Big G done already kind of gave you a sneak preview of what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about prenups and Dak and him dodging the bullet over there. And so with that being said, make sure that you align your life, lead with purpose, and always put God first. With that being said, y'all have a good night.
Have a good one, baby boy.